Shem and Rachel. How are you guys?
I'm fine, thank you.
Good. And I'm sorry, Shem, you want to say something?
Oh, I'm good. I'm good. Grateful to be between two beautiful women here. You all look good.
Thank you so much. I know we didn't talk about it, but we ended up wearing, you know, red and black and white.
I guess great minds think alike.
Great minds think alike. And you just came back from your golf game. How was that?
Golf game was tough today. Lost a lot of money, but there's always next time.
There's always a next time. I know.
You win some and lose some.
You win some and you lose some. I've never played golf. And
Me either.
You've never played golf either.
But
But it seems like
it's just spring is coming up, and I can take you and show you a few things.
That would be awesome.
That would be awesome. I'm
There's
going
a
to take
first
him
time
up
for
on that.
everything.
There's
Yeah,
a first
me
time
too.
for, yeah. And it
Me
seems
too.
like we can win some money too.
Hopefully.
And there are a lot of men on the golf course. For all the ladies out there looking,
You can
pick
be
up
that
golf.
there, right?
Yes.
That's good. So we are fresh off of our first episode. We received a lot of good feedback from everyone. So I'm excited about that. One of the topics that one of your friends asked about was about ladies and women in general and trying to juggle things in the household. And so we decided to talk about this issue about men and how they can help women a little bit around the house to make their life a little bit easier, right? And so we're going to start talking about... Shem is making a face already. But this is an important topic because, you know, we hear it all the time. Women are exhausted trying to do everything.
Yes.
And even when you have someone a mate, a husband, or whoever you're living with, you still end up feeling like a single married mom, don't you? Have you experienced? Yes. Some women feel that way. Haven't you felt that way maybe in your past relationships or something?
You know, I was, like I said before, I was married about 9 years, but actually, I guess maybe mine was the exception to the rule.
One of those who get it? Okay.
It was... I never asked for him to help clean around.
Right. He just did it.
Yeah, so I think sometimes it's just an exception to the rule, but I understand what you're saying. You know?
Yeah, and that's important to note because we're not talking about all men.
Yeah.
Obviously, there are some men who actually get it. But let me give you a scenario because
What do men get it?
Oh,
that comes out as a negative.
It's not a negative thing, and I'll explain myself because I've heard this from women all the time. I hear this from women all the time, so I'll explain it. So a friend of mine told me, she said, Sally, I was in the kitchen. I was trying to cook something that the men will also eat, and the child was bothering me. There is hot grease on the stove, and the man was sitting at the computer looking at something. And so she was wondering, she said, Sally, why wouldn't he think to come over here and get the child so that I can finish cooking? So that's kind of, you know, what we're talking about, a man who gets it, who just thinks forward and thinks, okay, I need to go ahead and get the child so I can do this. What do you think, Rachel? I mean,
I think traditionally, you know, household chores were for the women.
Right.
Because traditionally, I think women stayed home while the man went to work. So it made sense, you know, he came home from work, he's tired, he wants to unwind, and the woman probably would have already fixed dinner before he got home from work.
Right.
Unfortunately, in current society, both people
are now working.
Exactly. So they come home pretty much about the same time. Sometimes they work opposite shifts. And it just makes sense that both chip into doing household chores.
Right.
You know, some, I mean, have to be asked. Some men have to be asked to help around the house.
And I guess that is the question. Why do you have to ask a man? And that's where my thing comes about getting it. Why won't you voluntarily say, I see a problem and I'm going to participate in helping it?
So, for one, it depends how you are brought up. That has a lot to do with it.
That's true.
That's true.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you're brought up in a household where your mom or your sisters did everything,
you're going to sit back and do the same.
You are not used to thinking about, let me go wash dishes or let me change diapers, or, you know.
Right.
You're not going to think like that. So mentally,
you're already programmed.
Programmed, yes. That it's not something that most men will volunteer. I know men who actually love washing dishes.
Right.
You know, I know men who love cleaning up and ironing clothes and doing laundry.
Right.
But most men probably came in that environment where everything was done by a lady in the house and it's just pre-programmed in them.
Socialization.
Yes.
Okay. And so what women sometimes, because what women feel is that they're not, you don't feel like the person loves you enough, right? You feel unloved and appreciated. You think that because this person loves you, they should already think ahead to help
empathize with you,
right? Exactly.
And you know, think like, well, she went to work 8 hours, she's home, she must be tired, well, let me go and help her do this,
right?
But another thing also, I think, is the way we are created naturally. I think women are naturals. We are created to take care of.
Yeah.
Men are not created like that.
Uh-huh.
So they don't have that natural instinct that goes, oh, you know, there's a mess over here, let me clean it up.
Uh-huh.
This child needs attention.
So then you have to ask them. Okay.
Unfortunately, I think there's a lot to do with that.
Yeah.
You know?
Uh-huh.
I don't think men are created to be caregivers.
Yes, but it comes back to when you're in a relationship.
Okay.
Discussing the little details.
Uh-huh.
You know, when you get in a relationship, before you move into a man's house and you are sharing the same space.
Why do you have to move into the man's house?
Be it by marriage or whatever.
No, but why can't you just get a house together or move into the woman's house?
I'm just saying, before you
Before the union, before you got cohabitate.
Before you go and cohabitate.
Whichever way, right?
Yes, whichever way, whatever way.
Whether it's a new house.
Or letting a man come into your house, however it is.
Yeah, you've already had this conversation with the woman.
This is a conversation I think that is overlooked.
That it is overlooked, and that's true.
So if you don't discuss it and set expectations up
right.
front,
yeah.
Obviously, hopefully you've had an opportunity to observe how the man lives,
right,
when he's living by himself,
right,
or wherever he's living before you come together,
right.
And if you see it as a pattern,
right, then you need to address it. You need to
address it ahead of time,
right?
You know, and say, you know, this is the expectation. This is, you know, what I like. Helping,
and that will make me happy.
Yes.
Because women don't look for too much, you know.
But also, sorry, on the point of addressing it, a lot of times you find yourself addressing it every day. You know, addressing the same thing.
Is that before or after?
Both. But I mean, you address it before, and it's like,
okay, then that's just a lazy man. Because some men are just lazy, I guess.
It's
right?
It's not a matter of being lazy.
What is it?
For us, if I see. If say we've had dinner,
yeah,
and the dishes are sitting on the sink,
right?
To me, I don't have to wash them tonight.
Oh, so you're thinking I will wash them tomorrow?
They can be done. They can wait until tomorrow. You know, it's not an emergency. So for women, it's like I can't sleep before I wash my dishes. I can't, you know.
So what you're trying to say is, it's not that men don't want to do it. It's
just
that
do it at their own time.
Yeah, we beat you to doing it.
Yeah.
You want to do it. You want it done at your own
time. Right.
And you know it doesn't always work like that.
Right. So you wanna maybe we wait the next day, then maybe you'll come back and you wash the dishes. Sometimes it happens. Yeah. That's true. Yeah. Because but some women. You know, you don't want to go to bed with the sink clean, so you're thinking, okay, can someone please volunteer and clean the dishes? Yes.
That's my point. Is for us, it's not a critical. Yeah, it's not an emergency.
It's not critical, right?
Yes, we can sit down if you feel like you're tired and you don't have the energy to do it. Sit down, chill out, let the evening, you know.
Because you know what happens on the point about when you are talking about that we should tell you. Before, in the relationship and let you know what makes us happy. I think some women, the natural reaction sometimes is just to give them a silent treatment because you get so annoyed. It doesn't work too well. No. But then you get so mad, you're like, I'm not going to talk to you, I'm just going to wash dishes quietly. Or, banging the dishes and washing them and getting rid of them.
That doesn't help either.
Because sometimes when you're trying to tell the man, like you said, over and over, you're seen as nagging. And then the man labels you as a nagging person.
So that's important. The first thing is, when you nag, that is it results into negative.
But if you do
whatever.
something the first time you're asked to do it,
Then
you
you
don't
would
have
be
to
nagged.
say it again, and so we want to nag.
Right.
The only reason
See,
we
that's
nag
that's the problem.
is-
You want them to do it, and men do not like feeling like, you know, when they feel like emasculated when you say do this and you expect them to jump.
Oh, okay.
And you don't want
I
your
can see
man
that.
feeling like
Right,
that.
right. I can
Yes.
see you. I can see that.
No,
point.
but you know,
But-
for me, I think like, and I think every household is different.
Right.
But the average household, both parents work.
Uh-huh.
Let's just assume, it's two guys. I mean, husband, wife, children.
Right.
They arrive home maybe 6:30. The woman comes in. Maybe she's washing the kids. You'd think the husband should think, well, she's taking care of the kids. Or
Let me
taking
go
care of
ahead and
one
get the
kid.
dinner.
Yeah,
Right.
let me get dinner
Just
started,
started,
or let
right.
me get the kids while she
Right.
starts dinner.
Yeah.
But in most cases, you
Yeah.
find they come in, he feels like he's tired. He kicks
Right.
off his shoes, goes to the computer, lays down, does whatever he's doing to unwind.
Right.
Meanwhile, she's taking care of the kids,
Taking care of the dinner,
and then
after
she feels
that taking care of
overwhelmed.
the dishes. Yeah.
And you should. To me, I shouldn't have to tell you if we're walking at about the same time
Then-
in the same car.
Exactly. Then you should try to help, because afterwards at night you're gonna be trying to
Get
text
some.
get some.
And then when we tell you guys I'm
We're too
tired,
tired.
you're like, what do you mean you're tired?
Yeah.
I want some.
I'm making it sound that this problem just came from nowhere. It just started out of the blue.
In the relationship, right?
It did not.
Right.
Because when you're dating, most
Uh-huh.
women would go to the man's house and they clean up and
And they want to impress him.
They want to impress the man.
Exactly.
So
they're Superwoman mode.
Yes.
Yeah.
So if you want to curtail this problem,
Uh-huh.
you need to start it. Don't give false advertisement.
Right. Don't show the man that you're a superwoman
Yes.
and you can handle everything.
Exactly.
But that's because
because-
you don't
And
have
that's
children
true.
yet. So
Because
it's a little. It might be a little
It does
different.
not
It
matter.
doesn't matter.
It
You
doesn't
have
matter.
to set the precedence there, and I
Yeah,
agree with
you gotta
Shan.
set the precedence.
Exactly. You
What
have
What
to,
if the
through
problem
the-
is not there at that time? Because half the time when you're dating, both of you are trying to impress each other.
that's true.
That's
and
my
so-
point.
Yeah.
Is at that time, if him sharing your household chores is you'd like to achieve in a
In your
long-term relationship,
then it needs to be
should
made
come
clear.
up. Don't volunteer to do everything
Right.
early on if you're not gonna maintain that.
I do agree that though. I do agree to some degree, because
But
that's why modernly right now the people have this superwoman where women are supposed expected to be superwomen syndrome.
But also on the same, I disagree, because I think actually a lot of times men tend to also impress the woman, but once they've gotten the woman, because
in other ways,
they're
in other
chasing,
ways,
they're
though, in other
hunting.
ways, and that's the same thing, because they'll maybe buy you things or take you places and stuff
And then
like
as
that.
soon as you
As soon-
get
the ring or the
But that's
then
a
you start-
totally different topic.
exactly.
So
And-
that's again, it's the same thing. You
Right.
set the precedence of what you want in your
In the
long-term
relationship.
relationship.
And I
What
think that's
if
the
when
most
you're dating
important
you don't go
thing.
to the other person's house? Because there's some people who, when they're dating, they don't really.
But you'll still be together in some kind of capacity, right?
But it's different from living together.
Yeah, but you
Right.
still have to
But
make
when
it
you
known.
you go to his house.
Yeah.
Are you washing his dishes?
Right.
Are you doing his laundry?
no.
Laundry?
No,
No,
but
why would
Rachel,
I?
but what I'm saying
my
though,
point.
yeah, to Shan's point, I
That's-
would say that even if
There's
it's the
some women
beginning
who
of
do
the
that.
marriage,
Yes.
even when you start together, let's say you
I can
didn't go to
understand at
each
the
other.
beginning of the marriage,
Right,
but
you
not
have
when you're
to-
dating.
right.
Why would I go to a man's house and wash his clothes
But
when I'm
women
not
do
married?
that. Women do
Why?
that, right? Haven't women
Yes,
done? I mean,
yes.
have you come across women who do that?
They do that all the
They
time.
do that all the time
Why?
to impress the man.
When I was dating my ex-husband, if he invited me to his place for dinner,
yeah,
he would cook,
and
serve
clean,
the food on
Right.
a plate,
Uh-huh.
give it to me in my hand.
right?
You know, after
And
you
that's the
eat, he
point.
takes the plates and wash them.
But that's
I
the
mean,
point. There's
because I'm a
exceptions
guest.
to, but because there's exceptions to everything.
And
But-
if he came to my place,
Right.
then I did because it's my house.
Right.
Then I'm the one serving
would
the
do
dinner.
your
I'll
own-
fix the dinner, serve the dinner.
Right.
And clean up.
But
Yeah.
when you're dating, you've dated somebody 2-3 years,
Right.
and you're still living separately. At some point, going to his house feels like you're at home, right?
That is true.
That's
It
the
feels like
mistake
your
people
house.
make,
Yeah.
because I think when you're dating, you should be dating. You should not try to play house. You know, I think that's where maybe
the
the
line
mistake
gets
is
blurred
made.
because depending on how long you've been dating, and you kind of, you know, because after you've been dating for a while, you don't. But I think the
that's
point
why
that the Chem is making is very important. As women, we have to set the precedence from the beginning.
And we have to keep the lines clear. You
And we have
shouldn't
to keep the
try
line
to play
clear.
house.
Yes.
Because I think sometimes, you know, if maybe you're doing that, it's because you're trying to quote unquote trap the man, make him think that you're this kind of person,
Right.
And I think
Who
that's
can do
where
everything, and then you get overwhelmed down the road. Yeah.
And
we need to keep the lines clear.
Even coming to your point, if you've lived separate lives and you've not really played house, infringed in a space, him infringing, then it has to be something you talk about
At some point.
before you get married. At some point,
Yes.
and say,
But it's not.
This is what
the same
it's
thing.
being. No, you have
that's
to.
what
It
it
should
when you're
happen.
dating.
Yeah.
If you're dating now,
Yeah.
at this point, like for example, let me just use me as an example. I have 2 children,
Right.
and I'm looking to date somebody.
Yeah.
I will definitely discuss things pertaining to my children, you know, how I would expect.
And guess what? You should
know,
discuss with him about the chores.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. But if I was dating
Yeah.
in the atmosphere of I'm a single woman, I've never had children, I'm like young, 20, 21.
Yeah.
I couldn't be thinking of things like chores. Why should we discuss chores? We're not living together unless...
Because that's how we get to this problem right here.
Yes.
This is how we get
I
to
guess
this
maybe
problem.
that's why I never had this problem. I never had this problem.
Because you had a man who
Yeah.
probably had a man who
Because not
who
all
didn't
men
mind.
are that way. There
Yes.
are men who get it
There
because
are men who
I mean,
really
don't-
like everything in order.
Don't
clean.
get me wrong. No, I never let him do laundry. But the thing is, there was just that, and it wasn't always.
Yeah.
But for the most part,
yeah, he was helpful.
he understood, and most of the time I
But-
was actually a stay-at-home mom. But
Right.
he'd come home from work,
Yeah.
and if I'm either making dinner and it's time to bathe the kids, he would get a kid and go bathe him.
Right.
Not because I asked,
But-
but because just common sense tells you one person cannot do more than one thing at a time.
Right, but normally, even in social media nowadays, what you will see is that women feel lucky to find a man who will change
it's women-
diapers and make a bed and all that. And that's their bragging right. They will post something like, oh, my man changes diapers, and all the women will say, oh, you're so lucky.
Then
or
it's
my
not,
man cleans,
it's not
and
a
others
problem
say, ooh,
created
you're
by
so
men.
lucky.
It's a problem created by women because we've set the bar too low for men.
Yes, and that's
It's
exactly
not.
what Shem was saying.
I don't blame men in that case.
Right.
It's our fault because
Right.
we've set the bar very low for men.
Exactly. We don't
like
expect
it's almost
them.
like we expect them not to do anything. So
Yeah.
if he lifts a finger
Then
up
we
to
praise
do something,
him. We praise him.
exactly.
Because-
So the man feels like, well, I'm being praised. I
Right.
guess I'm doing fine. I wasn't supposed to do this to begin with.
Because my question is, why do we call it helping when the man does something around the house? This is the place where he lives, he eats. These are
It's his
children that
children.
he has maybe helped make, or he has adopted, or
Helped
he
make.
has agreed help make.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
So when he does something towards that, he's not helping.
No.
Because everybody wants to say, "Oh, I have a helpful man." What are you helping? I don't get that.
That's true. It's if you're a parent, you're not. It is like if you're a parent, nobody should ever say you're babysitting.
Right.
You're
Just-
spending time with your children.
You're spending time with
To
exactly
that extent, you're
Yeah.
right. It's not helping. It's just you're doing what
participating.
participating in,
Yeah.
in bringing the family. But we have to agree the problem starts way back when you're dating before you're married,
Yes.
and either early in the marriage.
Right.
That's really where the problem starts.
That's true. And
But-
because with the socialization, that's your opportunity to unsocialize the person.
Yes, so that they know what to expect,
Yeah.
and you can deal with it
Yeah.
early on. When you set expectations, it's easy
Yeah.
to meet them or not to meet them.
Right.
Yes.
I asked a few women, I was like, so what are some of the ways that sometimes you have a good man, he's a good provider, he's a good father, he's a good husband, but then this one thing is what's lacking in a marriage. So sometimes
Then he's not good.
well, but
Then he's not
no, but
good.
sometimes
I was waiting for the
It's not-
definition of
it's-
good.
It's not perfect.
It's
You
not
know, you're
perfect, exactly.
you can't attain perfection. in a
Right.
You know,
relationship.
I
It's not
think
perfect.
really.
But then, so you're looking at this one thing and say, okay, this is the thing that's not happening in the marriage, and I somehow have to make it happen. So I asked them what are some of the ways that you've made your man help you, and some of them have said maybe bribery,
no.
No, but women do bribe with, but I mean,
It's only gonna work temporarily until
Right.
he
and
gets
that's
he gets
true.
what he
That's
wants,
right.
and then he's back to the beginning. And I think really, the more we talk about this, I just kind of realize that the problem is, I don't think the problem is with men. I think the problem is with the women who accept that. I think somebody's only do to you
what you
allow
allow
them to do.
Right.
So, like he said from the beginning, you have to set your expectations. You have to let him know.
This is what makes me happy.
Exactly. This is what I expect things to do. If he does not meet those, then you shouldn't settle.
Right.
If you settle for it at the beginning, then
Yeah.
you should expect it to continue throughout your marriage, unless a
Exactly.
miracle happens.
Exactly.
But if you don't like it, then you have to let them know at the beginning.
That's true. And because, I mean, a lot of women that I've talked to, they said it doesn't take much. On Saturday morning, wake up and realize that the woman is tired. If you're not tired, take the children to the park. Let her sleep that extra 2-3 hours. And they are the most grateful wife you will ever have.
When it comes to couples with kids,
Yeah.
it's imperative that the father be active participants and
It's-
actually
it's so
participates in having his time with the kids.
Right. Bonding.
Bonding with the kids, just
Yeah,
him and the
alone
kids.
time,
right.
That's just being a good father.
That's just being a good father.
Yeah,
Yes.
so in that aspect, I would say if a man is not really spending time with their kids by themselves, or they're not comfortable spending time with the kids, either taking them to the park, taking them out to a play area,
Right.
whatever,
Yeah.
then they're not being a good father.
They are not being a good father, right? And not the same with all these things are expected to be the woman. Like if you see a man at the dentist taking his own children to the dentist, everybody looks at him like, oh, wow. I take Jordan to dance all the time, and there are some dads there who run in, they are carrying their little McDonald's bags because they picked up the children from school, take them to McDonald's and brought them to dance.
Yeah.
It's so admirable, and that's all women need. In fact, the other day I was I had our dance school, and a father walked in and he told us, he said, my wife was watching the game, and so I volunteered to bring the children. Can you imagine? I mean, the game meant more to the woman. So the man recognizes that, and that's what women want, is for you to recognize what's important to them. Resting.
Yeah, we only just need to create a balance.
Yes,
So this is my question to you ladies. Talking to the women you talk to, your lady friends.
Right.
What have they suggested ways of how
To get their men to participate?
Yes, well, if you find yourself in the situation.
Right. Oh, well,
Silent
I have
treatment.
some people have done bribery, like maybe bedroom bribery, and some people have yelled at their man, seriously.
That doesn't
And
work.
people have done
Exactly.
silent treatment. Others have complained.
Which
and
don't really solve the problem.
It doesn't solve the problem. So I would think that this is something that you would need to sit down.
So yes, definitely. The first step, really, personally think, is you really need to sit down
and talk about it.
talk about it as an issue.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Figure out what is the man comfortable doing.
Right.
There are things I don't like doing laundry.
Exactly. And you can compromise because women.
So if you tell me to do laundry,
then you don't want it.
We are already we're working on a road.
If you really like your clothes and value your clothes, I don't think you should ask a man who does not like to do laundry to do laundry.
Because
do them yourself.
If I do laundry, I'll put my whites, everything, I'll put them in. And that will piss you off. I think that's another point of contention, you see. And
then we'll be fighting again, right?
And most men will do it.
Right,
Most men are not gonna go separate.
Just throw it, into the hamper, into the wash, detergent, maybe bleach.
So talk to your man, see what they
are comfortable
doing.
doing. It doesn't have to be the traditional things that they can do.
Yes.
As long as they're doing something that will alleviate some stress or take some stress away from you.
Makes sense, yeah.
Yeah, it makes sense.
If I'm doing the, cleaning the kids.
I'll clean the kids as long as you do
dinner,
this. And then you can compromise somewhere.
Yeah.
Because not all marriages are the same. And some women will accept this and they will not accept that.
I know some marriages where it's actually the man who does laundry. And, and the woman is not allowed to touch laundry because she doesn't know how to do laundry.
She doesn't know how to do it. Okay, yeah.
Some marriages, it's the man who cooks, because the woman doesn't know how to cook.
There are relationships where this issue is inverse.
Yeah,
that's true.
Where actually the men are the ones who are doing
everything,
expecting
and
the woman
to
come up and help.
Exactly.
So there are relationships that are inverse.
Right, and so it applies to any mate. It doesn't matter which mate you are in the relationship, right?
Yeah.
If you're the one who's not helping. But it's so important. We just want all men to know that women are tired. And then on top of being tired, you go to work in corporate America, and then you're paid less than the men. So it's almost like a double.
Here's another solution for
yeah.
outsource some of those chores.
Oh, to a house girl?
Yes. I mean, both of you are working.
Right.
Hopefully you're making enough money.
Right.
But every once a week, hire somebody to come do the
clean,
house, do the laundry.
That's true.
And
very true.
that will not be a problem.
That's true. That is a very good solution.
Unfortunately, for some of us, we
can afford it. Right. When you're a single mom. Right.
And that was one of the things. I had a friend who was she's a single mom of 2 very young kids, and she's like, I'm going to school, I'm working full time, I have 2 kids, I think age 3 and 1, and I have a house to take care of. I'm one person.
Right.
On average, homes with 2 children have a father and a mother.
Right.
And it's still overwhelming for them.
It is.
She is one person, and so she's just like, how do I balance this? How do I balance going to work, going to graduate school, taking care of my 2 kids, not neglecting them, having time to spend with them, and still making money to come and pay bills at home.
Right.
And it's overwhelming.
Yeah.
But believe me, outsourcing is not that expensive.
Sometimes it's worth it because know what? On Friday night, if the woman, let's say, goes to pick up the children and then has to drop them off to, it would be the best thing if you came home and the man has ordered from a restaurant, take out, and it's home. So you don't necessarily know. We're talking about the households with men who don't help. So it means the world, because it's easier for the men to just pay someone to do it. That's part of outsourcing, right?
And most men
will agree.
I mean,
they will do that.
If you don't feel like cooking, just call me and say, hey, can you pick up something on the way?
Exactly.
And most men will
accommodate that. And I would appreciate something like that. I'm like, okay,
that
but
works.
there's food at home, so
that works.
Yeah.
But my friend had the question, which we kind of have to answer.
Right.
How do you deal with that situation where the
balancing, right? Yeah. And I
where you don't get overwhelmed and go throw everything in the air.
I think that women just have to realize that sometimes things will fall through the cracks. I think that this idea of the superwoman or the supermom is oversold, and it's just a media phenomenon, because sometimes you will handle everything, and sometimes you won't be able to handle everything. So it depends, and like Shem said, I think we need to really look at the option of outsourcing some of the things, and asking our men to help and pitch in and help.
I agree with you. For me, I think especially for the single moms or the single parents, because sometimes it's single dads.
Right.
I don't think everything has to be perfect. I don't think you have to take care of everything.
Right.
Sometimes it's okay to let a laundry sit in the wash for a day.
And be okay with it.
Because I think sometimes we end up under the pressure of trying to make things be the way it was before we went to work,
right?
And it's impossible, and you just end up getting so exhausted.
Right.
So I think you just need to prioritize and see what's most important,
right?
What has to be done.
Yes.
And the other things, catch up later.
Wait, catch up later, and be okay with it.
Or use paper plates,
Oh my word! Yes.
The environmentalists are gonna get you.
No. Oh, I discovered paper plates are my best friend.
Yeah.
Oh.
You will never have that pile
piled
No,
up.
it's like $5 for like 100 and something plates, but you don't have to do dishes for so long, and you save time.
Right.
And you don't. I'm so glad you brought that up because I fought with that idea for the longest. I was like, paper plates.
Right.
That's for parties, you know, barbecues or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, we use paper plates for everything now.
Oh,
except if you have guests.
Okay. So
but it saves you, you know, after dinner. Yeah. After dinner, instead of doing dishes for 30 minutes, then now it's 5 minutes. So you have an extra 25 minutes to do something else.
Exactly.
You know.
And I think all that women are trying to do is to feel loved. When a man steps in without being asked, you feel so loved, appreciated, you feel valued. You don't feel like a servant.
You don't feel like
you believe that. So and to Shem's point, I think what men want is for women to set these boundaries at the beginning of the relationship.
I agree with Shem on that.
And so that way you say, this is what makes me happy. It would make me happy if you wash dishes, or if you helped with this, or if you helped with the children, or if you set up the doctor's appointment and all of that. And then I think we will all be happy, maybe.
I mean,
we'll meet each other somewhere.
Yeah,
not necessarily halfway, but we'll meet each other somewhere.
Exactly.
Yes, but yeah, just to wrap up, I would say, yes, set the precedence, Harley.
Right.
But even if you find yourself in that situation, look at what your man is doing. There are things they are doing that might make up for that gap.
Right, and women are good for that. Yeah.
And when you have most women, when they have problems, is they focus on that problem,
right,
and they just build other things, and that tunnel
vision. Exactly. Yes.
But observe, maybe your man does other things around. Maybe she doesn't ask you to go mow the lawn or.
Exactly.
Do
it helps in other ways. So, or because I've seen some women, like, I mean, of course, this is not a good thing to go by, but like the Real Housewives and stuff, they'll be like, you know what? I wash dishes, I clean the house, but I'm gonna go charge his credit card and get me some new shoes. So he provides you you with a MasterCard to shop or do whatever you want.
No.
What they do, and that makes the woman happy.
And then he's going to be mad when he gets like thousands of dollars.
No, I'm saying for the men who are okay with that. To Shem's point, like, okay, he might be doing other things for you, that are not necessarily cleaning the dishes or.
But I would feel like a servant in that case, because it's almost like I'm doing all this work.
Exactly, but some women feel like, okay, this is my way of getting. Yeah, they feel okay with it. Yeah, they say, oh, I have a Chanel bag, so he gives me his black MasterCard. So
no, not me.
It shouldn't be that way, but I'm just in general saying some compromises that may not be traditional.
Because you might, as much as you might want the man to do household chores, there are men who just won't do it.
And the household chores are not pleasant.
I think if it's in a situation where he's made it possible for you to stay at home, then it's slightly different.
And that's a compromise too that we are saying.
I know not every household can afford for both,
one parent to be working,
at home. Right? Yeah. But if you stay at home and he's working and is paying all the bills, then I can understand if he only does something here and there, spend time with the kids. And even just the spending time with the kids gives you that break where it's just you and yourself.
Right. You see, you're talking about the man spending time. That's the standards I'm saying. We're setting too low.
Yeah, right.
Regardless of how busy a man is.
No, I'm saying in the sense of when you're a stay-at-home mom, and he comes home from work.
It doesn't matter.
And listen to me, let me just finish. When you're a stay-at-home mom, you've had the kids all day long. He comes home from work. He takes the kids to the park or whatever. His time to spend with the kids. You are left by yourself. You don't have to go with them. That 1 hour, it's enough for you to unwind, where if he comes home and he doesn't do anything in the house, you don't feel overwhelmed, because guess what? You've been home all day. You've not had to go and do 8, 10, 9, 10 hours at work. So it's different. It's a little different if you're a stay-at-home mom than if you are also going out there and working 40, 50 hours a week.
Right. I'm going to say that if you're a man and you've been waiting for a sign, this is a sign, right? So you need to evaluate by yourself and see if you're overwhelming, your woman, or if you're neglecting your family in any way. We don't want women to burn out, so that's the whole idea. So if you can, be proactive is what women are asking, and we don't have to ask you to do something. That would be awesome. But I appreciate the discussion as usual. Thank you so much, Rachel. And thank you so much, Shem, for coming in.
My pleasure. It was a tough
It was a tough position to be.
One more thing. If mama ain't happy, nobody's gonna be happy in that house. Last word.
Yeah. This is a topic that's been discussed for years, Yeah. So, we just want to find a lasting solution. And thank you so much for letting us know, from the point of view of the man. I appreciate you guys coming in. And next time we will be talking about dating with children. So that's going to be in February. So join us again next time for a Let's Talk show. Thank you so much and have a good day.